Shalom, everyone. Today we'll talk about tzniut in general, but specifically for prayer. If you remember, we said that Chazan, Shliach Tzibur, person appointed to lead us in prayer, is not allowed to be pocheach, and there are different interpretations of that. But we learned that Rav Melamed talked about torn clothing or unbuttoned shirts and other things like that. That basically somebody is mistreating himself, so he can't be our leader. But women usually do not lead services, and so we're going to talk about even in the house. So even when one is alone in her house, it is proper that she acts modestly and covers her body. She should not say, "Here I am in privacy of my own room. Who can see me?" For God's honor fills the whole world. She must cover her body in God's honor and out of respect for the divine image within her. It's not saying that somebody is not allowed to get naked. Of course, when we shower or whatever, but in terms of regular during the day hours, that we should honor Hashem's presence. For men, every body part that one usually covers out of respect when he is among family and close friends should also be covered when he is alone. Concerning women, since the rules of modesty are defined, sleeves until the elbow and skirts until below the knee, it is proper to walk around the house in that manner even when no other person is present. Similarly, it is inappropriate for girls who live in the same-sex dormitory to walk around in immodest clothing. He wouldn't imagine that in a co-ed dormitory that would not be the rule. When getting dressed, it is proper for her to be strict and not change her undergarments in the room. She should change in the bathroom, shower room, or under a cover. It's a little bit more strict than what most rabbis say, but that's his opinion. We'll skip the hair covering because we talked about that a little bit. And so um, he explains about the Garden of Eden. The bare body emphasizes in an extreme manner the materialistic and animalistic side of humans. However, the form of the human body, with all the details and intricacies of its limbs, also contains profound and phenomenal allusions to the soul, which the wisdom of the Kabbalah discusses in great length. It is the destiny of the body to actualize all these ideas. However, following the sin, our view became more external. At first glance, we only see the corporal component of the human body, which causes us to forget its spiritual core. Therefore, it is proper to conceal the body to better emphasize one's inner spirituality, which is the source of his allure, and allow refined beauty to extend over his whole body. That is what the sages allude to when they state that modesty in particular preserves beauty by the fact that it nourishes its eternal root. So, as today is, tomorrow we're going to be reading Parashat Vayishlach. I was thinking about two connections to what we just learned, both concerning Dinah. The rabbis criticize Jacob for putting Dinah in a box or a closet so that Esav won't see her. In the words of the Talmud, it's Shema tachzirena lemutav, that she might have brought him back to being a righteous person. And so there's two things about that. One is, how do the rabbis know that it was Dinah that was in the box and not one of the boys? And the answer that I heard recently is that I think it's the Torah Tamimah. He says that we know that the reason why the altar, we're learning Zvachim now in Daf Yomi, the reason why the altar was in the tribe of Benjamin, which is mentioned earlier in the Daf, I think like 3 weeks ago, something like that, is because he did not bow down to Esav because he wasn't born yet, and so the Torah Tamimah says that basically, if it was one of the other tribes that was in the box and not Dinah, then the Mizbeach, the altar, could have been built in his section. So that's pointing the finger at Jacob for not allowing the possibility, and maybe even a true possibility, because he was a prophet, he could have known better. About Dina's rape, I was wondering why. This is an open question because I don't really have an answer. But the Jacob accuses Shimon Velevi and says to them, "Achartem oti, you have embarrassed me, and to make my name stink in the eyes of the locals." And I think that even 3,000 years later, we're still making the mistake. The goyim hate us no matter what we do, even if we are the perfect people, and they're always going to hate us. So Shimon Levi just did what they believed, and they don't even answer him directly about this embarrassment. They said, this is our sister. She was defiled by this non-Jew. By the way, the Tanakh usually uses the word arelim, uncircumcised, for the Philistines. I believe that this is the only time that it was about a Canaanite tribe that they were called Arelim, that they were uncircumcised. But Shimon and Levi answer Yaakov and say, Hakizonai aset achotenu, he caused us even more agony and grief, and so that's why we did what we did. And so I don't know why it says again about them Achei Dinah, because she had four other brothers from Leah, and none of them acted. So I just wanted to talk about that and to say basically that the modesty, that the false modesty that Yaakov was hiding, was Dinah, like we said, is criticized by the rabbis. I'm in no position to criticize them myself, but just wanted to point that out and wish everybody a very good Shabbos.